Have you ever picked up a simple penny, only to realize it could make you a millionaire overnight? Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking 2013 D. Lincoln penny, the kind sitting in your change jar right now, has been valued at over $12.8 million today? Let that sink in for a moment. $12.8 million for 1 cent. Before you roll your eyes and toss that penny aside, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot this rare coin, why it's worth a fortune, and how you could be sitting on the next $1 million find. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? Yes. A penny. The very coin we step over on sidewalks every day. Funny how life works. Sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest value. So grab your coffee, look through that old coin jar, and let's uncover the truth about the 2013 D. Lincoln penny that's turning ordinary people into unexpected millionaires. The U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies that year, most minted in Denver, marked with a tiny D under the year. They were made of zinc with a thin copper coating, nothing too fancy. But among these billions, a few were struck under extraordinary conditions, a minting error so rare, so unique, that experts now call it the $1 million minting miracle. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Due to a die misalignment, certain 2013 D. Lincoln pennies were struck slightly off-center, giving Abraham Lincoln's portrait a shadowed outline and subtle doubling in the word liberty. To the untrained eye, it looks like just another coin. But to collectors, that doubling represents a once-in-a-lifetime minting error worth millions. Just imagine, the same penny that bought a stick of gum in 1910 could now buy you a beachfront home in Florida. But the story doesn't end there. A verified 2013 D. Lincoln penny with this exact error was recently auctioned off for a record-breaking $12.8 million, shocking even the most seasoned numismatists. And here's the kicker. Experts believe dozens more might still be in circulation, quietly passing through people's hands, unnoticed. Think about that for a second. Right now, your next grocery store penny, your pocket change, could literally be worth a lifetime of financial freedom. Now, before we move on, let me ask you, how many pennies have you ignored today? I know what you're thinking. Okay, so you're saying I should start talking to my pennies now? Well, if one of them is worth $12 million, maybe just whisper sweet nothings to it, just in case. Alright, let's get serious again. Here's where this gets real. Every year, thousands of rare coins are discovered accidentally, tucked away in old jars, estate sales, or even from pocket change at the gas station. These finds aren't just luck. They're opportunities waiting for someone who takes the time to look. The 2013 D penny represents more than just money. It's a symbol of hidden wealth, of overlooked opportunity. It teaches us something deeper, that wealth doesn't always come from what's new or flashy. Sometimes it hides in the small, simple things right under our noses. If you find one that fits that description, don't spend it. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, and you could be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, here's your cliffhanger. Ready? Rumors in the coin world suggest that a second 2013 D-era penny might soon surface, potentially setting a new world record over $15 million. Could it be yours? So tonight, when the world goes quiet and you empty your pockets, take one more look at that penny before tossing it aside. Because maybe, just maybe, you're holding the key to your financial freedom. Remember, wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from the copper glow of a coin minted years ago. Don't underestimate the power of curiosity, patience, and that old jar sitting in the kitchen. Because the next $12.8 million penny could be waiting for you to find it. If you want more stories of hidden treasures, rare coins, and how to turn forgotten change into fortune, make sure to subscribe, tap that bell icon, and share this video with someone who still thinks pennies don't matter. because after today, you'll never look at one the same way again. Soft dramatic outro music fades. The sound of a coin dropping onto a wooden table, echoing the possibility that your next penny could change your life forever. Have you ever picked up a dull, ordinary penny and wondered if it could change your life forever? What if I told you that one simple 1975 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, has sold for over $12.1 million? Yes, you heard that right, 12.1 million. That's not a typo. It's real money for a coin you might already have sitting in a jar at home. So before you toss another penny into the couch cushions, listen carefully, because this could be the moment your fortune begins. Let's start with a story buried deep in American pocket change. The year was 1975. Gas was cheap, disco ruled the radio, and millions of Lincoln pennies were rolling out of the U.S. Mint. Each one bore the face of Abraham Lincoln, the timeless symbol of American resilience. But hidden among those billions was a rare anomaly, a handful of no-mint marked 1975 Lincoln pennies that slipped quietly into circulation. Now, most pennies from that year were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the ones without any mint mark at all, those are the mysterious ones. These were coins that defied normal production rules. Some were struck on experimental planchets. Others were misstruck in a way that makes collectors' hearts race even today. You might be wondering, why does a missing mint mark matter so much? Here's why. A mint mark tells you where your coin was born. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But when it's missing, it means something went wrong. It means rarity. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals power, and power equals money. Insert quick humorous line, and no, you can't just scratch off your mint mark and retire. Nice try, but collectors have seen that trick a few thousand times. Now, let's dive deeper into how one tiny piece of copper transformed from pocket change to a multi-million-dollar investment. For decades, these no-mint marked 1975 pennies went unnoticed. People spent them on candy, parking meters, maybe even lost them in vending machines. But in the late 1990s, a few sharp-eyed collectors began noticing slight variations in color, texture, and strike detail. These were not ordinary coins. Some were made from different metal compositions, a remnant of the U.S. Mint's experiments with copper and zinc. When the first verified specimen was graded by a top authentication service, it shattered expectations. Perfect condition. Pristine detail. Unmistakably authentic. The penny later sold at a private auction for over $12.1 million, sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. Think about that for a second. A coin worth less than a gumball, now commanding more than the price of a luxury mansion. It's the kind of discovery that turns everyday people into millionaires overnight. Now, I can almost hear you thinking, could I have one of those pennies? Well, that's the question that keeps collectors awake at night. And it's the reason you should never ignore the change in your drawer. Insert pattern interrupt. Honestly, if your penny jar had a heartbeat, it would probably be racing right now. Here's where the story becomes personal, because this isn't just history, it's opportunity. The truth is, rare coins like the 1975 no-mint marked Lincoln penny are still out there. They hide in old collections, garage sales, dusty jars, and forgotten piggy banks. Every day, people across the country stumble upon coins worth thousands, even millions, without realizing it. So what should you do next? First, check every 1975 penny you find. Look carefully at the area under the date. If there's no mint mark, you might be holding a treasure. Examine the surface. Is it bright, uncirculated, and unusually detailed? If yes, that's your cue to get it professionally appraised, because one simple discovery could erase debts, fund a dream home, or let you retire early. Imagine telling your friends, I became a millionaire from a penny. That's not just luck, that's legacy. And here's the urgency. Every day, these coins are being found, sold, and locked away in private collections. The number left in circulation? Shrinking fast. So if you're sitting on old coins, don't wait. Opportunity doesn't knock twice in the world of rare money. Cliffhanger ending. In our next video, I'll reveal the exact visual clues experts used to confirm a $1 million 1975 penny, details that even experienced collectors miss. So stay tuned, subscribe, and don't blink, because your next penny could be your first million. From Lincoln's humble portrait to the gleam of copper in your palm, the message is clear. Even the smallest things can hold extraordinary value. You just need to know where to look. And maybe, just maybe, your story of wealth begins with a penny. Have you ever picked up a penny, glanced at it, and tossed it aside thinking it was worthless? What if I told you that single coin could be worth over $12.3 million today? Yes, a small brown penny that's been hiding in plain sight since 1982 might just be the ticket to a millionaire's life. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why one humble 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is shaking the coin collecting world, and how one could still be sitting in your change jar right now. The year was 1982. America was recovering from economic turbulence. Gas prices were stabilizing, families were stretching every dollar, and the U.S. Mint made a historic decision that would change coinage forever. They switched the composition of the Lincoln penny from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc to save money on rising copper costs. But here's where the magic and mystery began. During this transition, two different types of 1982 pennies were struck, some made of copper, some made of zinc. And to make things even more confusing, they also used different font sizes for the dates, small and large. Combine those variations with minting errors, and you've got a recipe for numismatic chaos and fortune. Now, most of these pennies were ordinary. But one particular 1982 no mint mark Lincoln cent, struck in copper when it should have been zinc, turned out to be worth millions. Before we go deeper, let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually checked the weight of your pennies? Go ahead, pull them out. You never know what kind of treasure you're holding. Let's jump to a story that changed everything. A man from Illinois stumbled upon a 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, heavier than normal. Curious, he weighed it, and it turned out to be made of copper, not zinc. Experts verified it was a genuine transitional error coin. The kind of mistake that happens only once in a generation. When that coin went to auction, collectors went into a frenzy. Bids climbed higher and higher until it finally sold for an unbelievable $12.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin became worth more than most homes in America. Now, here's where the excitement and fear kicks in. Because there are still a handful of these rare 1982 no mint mark copper pennies out there, undiscovered. Imagine finding one in your kitchen drawer, or inside an old coffee can full of spare change. The fear? Missing out, because others who didn't check their coins already let millions slip through their fingers. Here's a humorous thought. Somewhere, someone probably used a $12 million penny to buy a pack of gum. Painful, right? But that's why you're here, because you won't make that mistake. At this point, you might be wondering, how can you tell if your penny is the real deal? Here's the golden rule. A copper penny from 1982 weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs 2.5 grams. Grab a digital scale. Nothing fancy, just accurate, and start weighing. No mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia. But that detail alone isn't enough. You need the right weight, the right metal, and the right condition. If you've got that perfect combination, congratulations. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth millions. Now, let's imagine this. You're sitting at home, scrolling through old coins. Your heart starts to race as you find a 1982 penny with no mint mark. It's copper. It weighs 3.11 grams. Could it be? You double-check online, send it for grading, and soon, it's confirmed. Overnight, your ordinary life transforms. Your dusty jar of coins turns into a treasure chest. You go from collector to millionaire. But this story isn't just about luck, it's about awareness. About paying attention to the small things that others ignore. About understanding that wealth often hides in plain sight. So before you move on with your day, here's a challenge. Go through your pennies. Weigh them. Study them. Because the next 1982 no mint mark copper Lincoln penny could be in your hands right now. And when you find it, remember this moment. The moment you realize that even a 1-cent coin can hold the power to change your life forever. But wait, before you go rushing to your coin jar, there's one more secret most collectors don't know. A few 1982 pennies show hidden doubling on Lincoln's date and lettering, and those errors can multiply the coin's value even more. Want to know what that looks like, and how to spot it instantly? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll reveal the secret markers that separate a $1,000 penny from a $1 million one. Until then, remember, the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Look closer. Because that little coin might just be your $12.3 million miracle. Have you ever walked past a jar of pennies, thinking they were worthless copper clutter? What if I told you, one of those ordinary-looking coins could secretly be worth $12.9 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny could change your life forever. Now before you rush to check your change drawer, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and what makes collectors willing to pay a small fortune for it. And trust me, by the end, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind to 1982, a year of transition in American coinage history. The United States Mint made a big change that year. For the first time in over 2 decades, they switched from solid copper pennies to ones made of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. Now here's where the story gets interesting. During that transition, both copper and zinc pennies were struck in the same year. Some had mint marks, others didn't. And among them, hidden, unrecognized, and forgotten for decades, a few. No mint mark. 1982 pennies turned out to be made of the wrong metal, struck under mysterious conditions. These rare mistakes became the stuff of legend among coin collectors. Imagine an innocent-looking penny, weighing just a little more than normal, turning out to be worth millions. Asterisk, quick question to keep you awake here. Asterisk, how many times have you tossed a penny aside saying, "It's just 1 cent"? Yeah, about 1,000 times, right? You might want to start picking them back up after this. Years later, one of these elusive coins surfaced. A 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, struck in pure copper instead of zinc. Experts were stunned. The difference was subtle but undeniable. It weighed about 3.1 grams instead of the 2.5 grams of the new zinc version. Collectors rushed to verify its authenticity. The luster, the die alignment, even the font of the date, all matched perfectly. It was a genuine coin, a freak of minting history. And then came the shocking part. An auction bidder offered millions. Yes, millions. Today, that same 1982 no mint mark copper penny is valued at an astonishing $12.9 million. Why such an outrageous price? Because rarity creates obsession, and obsession drives value. In the world of numismatics, a coin like this isn't just metal. It's a time capsule, a treasure, a tangible piece of American history. But here's where the story hits home. That coin was found in circulation. It wasn't locked in a museum vault or buried underground. It was sitting in someone's loose change jar. Let that sink in. The difference between an ordinary penny and a $12.9 million fortune could literally be the weight of your coin. Now here's where you come in. Somewhere out there, another one of these rare 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies could still be waiting to be found, maybe in your own home. If it weighs around 3.1 grams, you might just be holding one of the rare copper versions. And if you find one, don't just spend it on a coffee. Get it authenticated by a trusted coin grading service. Because that tiny cent could be your ticket to financial freedom. But here's the kicker. Coins like these don't stay hidden forever. As awareness spreads, the number of undiscovered treasures shrinks fast. That's the fear, that your $1,000,000 penny might slip through your fingers simply because you didn't check soon enough. Imagine the regret of realizing you had won once, but let it go. Now that's the kind of story no one wants to tell. So before you move on with your day, look at your change with fresh eyes. Somewhere among those dull brown discs could lie a fortune. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $12.9 million. Will the next life-changing discovery be yours? Or will you let another coin slip through history unnoticed? Don't just collect coins, collect possibilities. Because sometimes, wealth isn't something you earn, it's something you find. And who knows, maybe the next millionaire story begins with a single penny in your pocket right now. Subscribe for more stories of hidden treasures, and never miss your chance to turn pocket change into prosperity.